Trying not to spend your whole paycheck at Whole Foods? Here's what's totally not worth the money. Although it might look tempting with its jewel-toned rows of fresh veggies and mouth-watering prepared goodies, you should never buy from the salad bar at Whole Foods. According to Spoon University, Whole Foods prices its make-your-own salads at a whopping $8.99 per pound, living up to its not-so-flattering moniker, whole paycheck. The oblivious and super starving are easy prey for Whole Foods salad bar, but savvy shoppers know to steer clear. Instead, pick up some basics and throw together a healthy meal on your own. Your bank balance will thank you. If you must indulge in Whole Foods cash-sapping honeypot, do so wisely. As Budget Bites points out, loading up on light greens and more buoyant, and thereby less costly fare, can save you big bucks at checkout. Since adding salad dressing is one surefire way to bulk up your order and thin out your wallet, add it at home. You'll pay top dollar for meats at Whole Foods, with protein staples like chicken breast costing well over twice as much per pound there than virtually anywhere else. Red meat also comes with a sky-high premium, with ribeye steak clocking in at around $20 a pound at Whole Foods, and far less at other supermarkets. So what gives? Whole Foods claims that it sells humanely killed meat, an assertion vigorously challenged by PETA. Even if its claims of cruelty-free meat products were totally accurate, the prices are still out of sync with the market. Those looking to get sirloin or pork chops without a side of guilt have plenty of other options, like local farmers markets. The lesson here is to support the smaller farmers and get actual humanely raised meat rather than pay top dollar for Whole Foods. According to PR Newswire, America's appetite for gluten-free fare continues to rise, meaning that there's more competition out there than ever before for big-box supermarkets to jockey for their position in the marketplace. Unfortunately, Whole Foods is not rising to the wheat-free challenge. Although Whole Foods has comparable prices on gluten-free freezer staples as opposed to other major stores like Target, it really falls flat in the pantry staple department.
Gluten-free spaghetti. Imagine the possibilities.
For example, Whole Foods quinoa holds a much heftier price tag than Trader Joe's product, begging the question of why this pearly product from the Andes is so highly prized at Whole Foods. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like Whole Foods quinoa is all that much better. But that higher pricing on certain goods is just par for the gluten-free course. Lucky for consumers, there is no shortage of other more cost-effective options. According to Organic Authority, Whole Foods got spanked for playing fast and loose with pre-packaged food prices back in 2018. While the upcharging and mislabeling might not be as extreme today, you should still avoid Whole Foods' pre-packaged food section whenever possible. As compared to a fellow high-end grocer Wegmans, Whole Foods consistently comes up short for both single-serving foods and larger family-style fare in nearly every category. For example, Wegmans prepackaged sushi is several dollars less than a similar product at Whole Foods. Prepared family-style salmon is also cheaper per pound at Wegmans than at Whole Foods. According to Digital Initiative, Wegmans swims in the same high-end pond as Whole Foods, but its pricing structure is deliberately and distinctively more accessible. For sheer budgetary reasons alone, stores like Wegmans make far more sense when you're scooping up pre-packaged convenience items. And you won't sacrifice quality either. Skip Whole Foods for go-to breakfast faves like eggs, unless you want to shell out top dollar for a humble 12-pack. Whole Foods' eggs cost is best described as confounding, with the New York Times noting that its whole paycheck nickname is still well-deserved in the pantry staple department. Although Whole Foods eggs are organic, it doesn't justify the price tag, which tops $10 in many cases. If you're yearning for some organic yolks, try Target instead, where the prices are nearly half as expensive. Whole Foods egg prices might leave you wondering if they came from a golden goose, but sadly it just appears to be a considerable markup instead.
Taste these eggs.
No, I only eat cage-free farm fresh.
Yes, these are sweatshop eggs.
So unless you're looking for specialty or pasteurized eggs, save your Whole Foods budget for more cost-effective and arguably better fare. And leave those sky-high priced eggs to chill in the cooler instead. Don't let the name deceive you, 365 veggie chips are not a healthy alternative to potato chips. In fact, according to NBC Miami, these chips are jam-packed with tons of calories and fat, making them the nutritional equivalent of potato chips. NBC Miami also points out that veggie chips tend to be loaded with sodium, even more so than potato chips. So while those rust-colored and green hues might be reminiscent of a healthy vegetable snack, the real thing is a lot less diet-friendly. Generally speaking, veggie chips are also costlier than regular old potato chips. So when it all comes down to it, you're far better off investing in a bag of Lay's. Leave the 365 veggie chips on the shelf and head to Whole Foods' actual produce department for some fresh stuff that you can serve with a hearty homemade dip. Whole Foods has a lot of great options for the kiddos, like Annie's shells and white cheddar macaroni and cheese on your next visit. But beware. According to Whole Foods, boxes of this organic kid fuel cost over $1 more than at Target. Depending on how many hungry mouths you have to feed, this massive increase could result in spending your whole paycheck on munchies. Instead, save your Whole Foods budget for other items, like the bulk section, that are actually cost-effective. While we may never know why Annie's shells and white cheddar macaroni and cheese is so astronomically more expensive at Whole Foods, we can say that it's a bad idea to go down the organic boxed meal convenience food route, especially when other stores give you a significantly better deal. At over $12, Whole Foods rotisserie chickens are much more expensive than those from other supermarkets like Costco, BJ's, Sam's Club, and Publix. Compared to Costco's similar rotisserie chicken, Whole Foods' version tends to be pretty underwhelming. But you can at least pat yourself on the back for buying a cruelty-free bird. Or can you? According to ProPublica, Whole Foods rotisserie chicken might not be as humane as you think. They concluded that Whole Foods organic birds came from a processing plant that handled non-organic, conventionally slaughtered factory-farmed meat. What's more, Whole Foods worked with several different facilities, many of which had a crossover with chicken giants like Perdue. Without the humane guarantee, Whole Foods rotisserie chicken and chicken selection in general seems a lot more unattractive. Since you can get your rotisserie bird for about 3 times less at Costco, it makes sense to avoid Whole Foods for this one. Even though there are a lot of items to avoid at Whole Foods, there are a few that are actually worth buying.
If you find the spot.
What are you doing?
Just milking the almond.
Whole Foods 365 almond milk is a solidly budget-friendly and delicious buy. Competitively priced compared to bigger box stores with a creamy luxe consistency and a hint of sweetness. 365 almond milk wins on 2 fronts. Its on-point price and the fact that it manages to taste mildly honeyed and nuanced without overpowering you with artificial flavoring. Some other almond or coconut milks are sugar bombs, more like liquid desserts than milk substitutes. But 365 almond milk doesn't need antics or overcompensation. Instead of a sugar high, you'll get a muted, velvety texture perfect for your morning cup of joe, or as the silken base for your chia seed pudding. 365 almond milk is endlessly versatile, working its magic in savory and sugary dishes. Although almond milk lasts about a week in your fridge, you may find yourself powering through quart after quart of this liquid gold. According to Live Kindly, Cotto Avocado frozen dessert is available everywhere at Whole Foods stores. The fruit-based ice cream imposter tastes like the real deal, using a satiny pureed avocado and organic sugar as its base. Plus, it's got comparably less sugar than other favorite ice cream brands. Cotto Avocado frozen dessert is a massive win for vegans and people who want to limit their lactose. According to its website, Whole Foods carries all 7 Cotto Avocado frozen dessert flavors. So you can stock up and stash them away for those days when your sweet tooth is raging. Whole Foods is a convenient place to get your oh-so-sweet avocado fix in a vast selection. At competitive prices, too. Once you try one, you'll probably want to get your hands on all of them. So head to Whole Foods for the lot. According to Salon, affordable frozen fruit is one place where Whole Foods shines. Its 365 line has pre-cut and flash frozen berries and fruits from all over the world, all conventionally packaged in freezer-proof bags. Tossing some frozen fruit in your morning smoothie or oatmeal is a quick and simple way to inject some extra nutrients into your diet. Plus, according to CNN, frozen fruit might even be better for you than the fresh stuff, since they don't have any time to lose valuable nutrients on the way from the vine to your table. Whole Foods does right by frozen fruit, pricing it ultra competitively. For example, blueberries cost less at Whole Foods than at Target, a shop lauded for its fair pricing and budget buys. Stock up on plenty of frozen gems next time you're at Whole Foods. It's Whole Foods for the win when it comes to premium canned beans. Not only does Whole Foods have a tremendous collection of everything from black beans to pintos, but it also consistently comes in cheaper than many other supermarkets. Compared to Target, Whole Foods has a bigger and more cost-effective selection, making it the ideal place to stock up for the impending zombie apocalypse, or just when you want to make a killer chili.
Everybody is going to get to know each other in the pot. I'm serious about this stuff.
According to Food Network Healthy Eats, canned beans can last for up to 5 years, so there's no reason not to load your cart up with every type imaginable next time you find yourself at Whole Foods. As The Sun points out, canned foods are savvy shoppers' go-to because you can easily find them anywhere. Use them to bulk up your next hearty stew or smashed up into a velvety and nutrient-heavy bean dip. According to Vegan Com, tofu is one of Whole Foods' best budget buys, with a great selection and super competitive pricing. It's also an excellent spot to dip your toe into tofu tasting, since you can get smaller chunks to spice up your next stir-fry. The versatility and lack of commitment make Whole Foods an excellent option, because tofu non-devotees don't have to wrestle with wasting a huge block. Whole Foods also boasts a big ol' selection of tofu, from seasoned to silken. Since regular tofu can be a bit bland, lemon pepper or teriyaki tofu are smart meatless Monday swaps that won't eat up your time or budget. According to Masterclass, you can refrigerate and freeze tofu successfully with a smidge of prep work. So don't be afraid to pick up tofu in bulk, and set it aside for a busy weeknight when the takeout cravings kick in. According to Business Insider, Whole Foods has exceptionally competitive prices when it comes to high-end yogurt brands like Siggi's and Chobani, making it a great place to stock up on those basics. In addition to Siggi's swoon-worthy and scrumptious combos of unique flavors, the texture and quality are on point too. Plus, according to Levels Health, Whole Foods non-dairy alternatives are also great for standalone eating, or when stirred into savory sauces and sides. Whole Foods also has an excellent selection of dairy and non-dairy yogurts, including local fare. You'll find economy-sized tubs of Chobani perfect for portioning out yourself, or artisanal blends with fruit on the bottom. There's also drinkable yogurt and Whole Foods signature 365 blends, an organic offering for less than $1. Whole Foods might not do all dairy right, but their yogurt selection and pricing are on the level. Bone broth is one of Whole Foods' best buys. They have a giant selection of reasonably priced broths, and you can incorporate this trendy and powerful health food into virtually any recipe. According to the BBC, there are a multitude of benefits associated with bone broth, including a well-functioning immune system, healthier joints, and even smoother skin. In addition, bone broth has collagen, one of the key ingredients for dewy, youthful-looking skin. Finally, the BBC notes that bone broth might even help you get your beauty sleep too. According to Kettle and Fire, finding the ideal boxed bone broth comes down to a few essential qualifications, like whether or not the broth has additional preservatives and what types of bones went into it. Fortunately, with Whole Foods' considerable selection, you can find something on par with your needs without having to spend hours concocting bone broth at home.
Oh, granola! Buy me that, Abby!
Whole Foods bulk bins are absolute gold, and you can save loads and loads of cash on dried items with long shelf lives as well as rare spices. Plus, shopping in bulk is generally cheaper than buying packaged items, and you can control how much you get. Whole Foods bulk spices are excellent and moderately priced, and there's a nice selection. According to Whole Foods, buying bulk does favors for your wallet, and is also environmentally friendly. It's a win-win for everyone, and a seriously smart way to spend your Whole Foods budget. You can also pick up dried beans, lentils, fruit, rice, and oats in the bulk aisle. The only cash-sucking area to avoid are the bulk nuts, which you can get cheaper elsewhere in the store. So avoid the markup on pre-packaged spices and get everything you need from the global grab bag that is the Whole Foods bulk aisle.